it's all about right here. Hey Dale, good job, man. Thank you. Okay, holy shit, that was crazy. So I was walking by, or driving by, just from my little time at the cafe, Little River Cafe down at the waterfront, and I saw all these police cars driving across the bridge to downtown, and I noticed that I had parked where they were driving their police cars, so I was like, oh shoot, I should probably go get my car away from whatever's happening downtown. And sure enough, there's a massive protest happening right next to where my car was parked. And I was like, oh shit, I better move. So I'm noticing what's going on though, and it's not a violent protest, so it's peaceful, and I'm hearing a lot of cheers, and I'm seeing, all of a sudden I see some people hugging a police officer, and I'm like, what? So I come running down here to document this, and I just was blown away. I think we saw a historic moment happen just now, where all kinds of protesters were hugging and high-fiving police officers who just en masse the police took a knee with the protesters. So go Portland, right on. Now it looks like the police are gone. The police have totally left the scene. That's amazing. They were right there, and now they're gone. So if that gives anybody hope, please share this video. Let it go viral. People are getting it. Woo-hoo! You're welcome, Gina. Thanks for watching. They're all saying they've never seen this happen. Hi, Karen. Love you, cuz. Hi, Enrique. Hi, Gina. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Pete. Well, things are pretty calm right now. That's good. Hopefully it'll just stay calm and we'll get a lot more getting along. All right, signing off, you guys.
Let's go to Mike Max right now. He's been quiet for a while. Maxie, what's going on? You're still there at Bobby and Steve's.
Yeah, and you can see behind me the last of the people that are being that have been arrested are now awaiting their transportation to the Hennepin County Jail. And I got to tell you, I'm not making light of this situation or this week at all, but it has been one incredible study of sociology, psychology, and human behavior, especially the way that it ended here tonight. A peaceful protest gets tense. Eventually they close in, there's tear gas and everything else. They arrest people. They were arrested how many hours ago now? 3 hours ago? Mm-hmm. And as they stood in line with handcuffs on, they begin in a strange way to bond with each other and even with the arresting officers. There's conversations, there's pictures being taken. The most incredible piece of humanity in a strange way that I've seen. And I think we've got some video as they stand in line. If we could roll it, they're socializing. They've gotten so far past the passion and the intensity of the event today that they are now talking pragmatically about why they do, what they believe in, and the officers are engaging them in conversation. And it was incredible to see, and in a strange way uplifting. We had a chance to talk to and ask a couple of the people that had been arrested if it was all worth it and what their take was on this day. At the end of the day, was it worth it?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a message to send. Hey, we are out here. We're peaceful. We are different from whoever's rioting. We are different from people breaking down buildings. We're out here. We just wanted to convey a message that we're not all the same. That we're not they are them. We are us.
When was the point where you said you've accepted the fact that she'll be arrested?
I didn't accept the fact that there should be arrests. I just know this is something that we have to do. And if anyone, we were out protesting on the freeway. We are out here protesting on the freeway because we want to make a difference. And to people saying, "Hey, you can't protest on the freeway. You gotta go on the sidewalk." We don't have enough sidewalks in the city of Minnesota for tens of thousands of protesters. Okay, we're going to protest on the street. We want to be heard. We're going to go where we're going to get attention. Okay. That's how it is.
And at the end of the day, do you feel that the message was put out there the right way, and are you satisfied with what you guys accomplished?
I am. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied that we showed that we're not going to be beaten. We're not going to be beaten by any officers. We're not going to be beaten by law enforcement or our friends in the state patrol.
I got to ask you one question about that. As this thing has evolved, we've all been standing here for a long time now, and I'm seeing more smiles and laughter than I think I've ever seen of people that are being arrested. There's almost a bond that's been established with the arresting officers and the people that have been arrested.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're human. He's got a family. He's got friends. I've got a family. I've got friends. At the end of the day, we just want to go home to the people we love. I mean, we're human. We're citizens first. At the end of the day, he might be wearing a uniform. I'm not, but we can connect in any way. You know what I'm saying?
You've been here every
5 days. Yeah.
What have you learned?
I've learned that every person deserves love from other people. That's what I really have learned, and it's really opened my eyes. Like, I don't have no hate towards these police officers around me. I really don't. I just want everybody to come together and treat each other equally. Seriously.
Do you regret being arrested?
No, I don't. Like, I probably will, but right now, no.
And do you feel like you guys sent a message loud and clear? Were you effective in it or not?
I think our message was clear at first, and then it ended up being clouded. But at the end, our message is still the same. Black Lives Matter.
I told you today's news was gonna shock you. Remember? I was confronted by something that shocked me. I read it for the first time. I didn't know about it at all, and you will hear it for the first time too. We have another article by Sandra Bullock that we had to prepare. I will now take you to a television program that was created several years ago. One of the most famous talk shows in America, even in the world, on Ellen DeGeneres, Sandra Bullock, whom we should know from the movie Speed. She appears on the show and answers questions. Ellen asks her, "How do you manage to look so elegant? And how old are you already?" "Around 50. And she answers, "Listen to the answer. We're about to witness it, and as soon as you're back, it'll take about 40 seconds, I'll explain the devilish youthfulness."
Way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
What the fuck? Joe says shit that even people at Duress go, no. No. What is going on? Joe is like her uncle who's on a new drug and hasn't got the dosage right. No.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
You're full of shit. All right, thank you. No, shush. Shush. I'm proud to work with Barack America. He's not a superhero, you idiot. Come here. When FDR was on television, there was no TV back then. Come here, Joe. Sit down. No.
Perverted. To change something from what is normal or right. To pervert the course of justice. 2. To lead someone to crime or to evil or immoral, especially sexually immoral acts. Hollywood has its fair share of perverts. If you follow the money, you'll soon learn that Hollywood is politically backed by a deep state of key players, carefully and meticulously creating narratives to get you to think, feel, and act as they wish. Much of what we know, we've been told. But what haven't we been told? A 16-year plan was in motion from the start of Obama's presidency. Hillary was meant to finish that plan, but couldn't defeat Trump. Now, Joe Biden is being steered into the race to finish what Barry Obama started.
Ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
They call him Creepy Joe for a reason. He can't stop touching kids.
Oh, Biden's a weird guy.
Do you see all those videos of him sniffing those kids?
Ugh. What is that about? I mean, it could just be a sweet old grandpa.
Even when they squirm away, nudge, or say no with their body language, he insists on doing so.
But you know, some sweet old grandpas that don't want to fuck kids, they do that.
The thing is, it would, in a sense, make more sense to people if he was just like handsy, right? It's like, okay, you're an old pervert.
Right.
This is like, I don't even know where to put this.
Right, where do you put sniffing?
Yeah.
This is called grooming. Predators use this technique on their victims so that they're less likely to refuse further touching, therefore allowing a predator to get their way. As we take a step back, it's been shown that a few pedophiles have had their impulses triggered due to a brain tumor pushing on an area of their brain. I'll let David Zublik tell you a bit more about Joe Biden and a potential brain tumor that he may have had.
In early 1988, when a still nebulous incident occurred, which, had it been made public, would have sent Biden to prison. It was at this point his family conducted an intervention and insisted he seek help or this incident would be exposed. Biden agreed to seek treatment and, while under psychiatric therapy, was informed that he may be suffering from a physical condition which may have brought on his desire to molest children. Biden's physicians believed that a possible cause of his abnormal behavior might be the result of a brain tumor. In February 1988, after suffering from several episodes of increasingly severe neck pain, Biden was taken by long-distance ambulance to Walter Reed Army Medical Center for examination. During the course of the battery of tests that were conducted, a benign tumor was discovered in Biden's brain. Several cases of uncontrollable pedophilia had been attributed to this physical anomaly. Studies had shown that in rare cases, some men had exhibited uncontrollable pedophilic behavior as a result of such tumors. The sudden and uncontrollable pedophilia exhibited by one man was believed to be caused by an egg-sized brain tumor, which, once removed, caused his sex obsession to disappear. The tumor was located in the right lobe of the orbifrontal cortex, which is known to be tied to judgment, impulse control, and social behavior.
Thank you. Thank you.
So could this explain the horrendous amounts of garbled gibberish that has been a trademark of Joe?
Because we cannot get re-elected. We cannot win this re-election. Excuse me, we can only re-elect Donald Trump.
Does he seem fit to be president at all? Let's explore some of Joe's earliest political criticisms.
Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania and come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here. Now that's a little too much, because as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, in all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children.
The health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
Or the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim, or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who
he was, you know, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized.
There's a lot of people.
Politically, that's devastating.
These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
The voters are going to have to decide whether he was dishonest or dumb.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do.
The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
What law school did you attend, and where did you place in that class? And the other question is, could you quickly, I think
I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. In the first year in law school, I decided I didn't want to be in law school and ended up in the bottom 2/3 of my class, and then decided I wanted to stay, went back to law school, and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I won the international moot court competition. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye-bye Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob?
It's in terminal condition.
Terminal.
Well,
it's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Terminal condition.
Terminal. Terminal.
Terminal condition.
Terminal. Terminal.
And now a message from the Vice President of the United States.
It may be easy to forget, but when Obama released the stimulus package in an attempt to increase jobs in America, he put the money in the hands of Joe Biden. Joe was widely criticized as the country did not see meaningful job growth as they were promised, and much blame went to Joe for how he was handling it.
The second choice was to fix the economy. Now the problem there is, we already did it. I said it once and I'll say it again. The stimulus is working. Now I know that might be tough to swallow if you're unemployed, but look at me. The stimulus is working. Right now there are thousands of new jobs being created every day across America. Foreclosure lawyers and repo men, temps and bankruptcy specialists. So don't tell me no one's hiring. The quality of the workforce is improving too. If you drive behind a Home Depot right now to find a bunch of guys back there ready to help you put in a new deck, you're going to find fellows with master's degrees, former professors, and accountants. I mean, it's amazing, and it makes me proud to be an American.
Let's face it, Joe is no longer captain of his own ship. And if he's not captain, then who is?
No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Barack Obama, the starter of the 16-year deep state plan to destroy America, just like Joe, has a problem with being authentic. For starters, Barack Obama isn't his real name. It's Barry Soetoro. Who is Barry Soetoro? U.S. Constitution states, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5, that the Commander-in-Chief must be a natural-born citizen. Barry's parental family was born of Kenya. When Barry was 3 years old, his parents divorced, and thereafter his mother Stanley Ann Dunham married second husband Lolo Sotoro, a citizen of Indonesia. Evidence shows that Barry Sotoro was adopted by his stepfather in Indonesia and studied for 5 years from 1967 to 1971. His registered school name was Barry Sotoro and his religion was Islam. When Barry Barack enrolled in Puna House School in Hawaii in 1971 till 1979, he concealed his identity with Barry Obama. His father, Barry Obama Sr., who divorced his mother in 1964, but was still adopted by Lolo Sotoro until February 8, 1980. Barry Sotoro traveled to Pakistan in 1981 using an Indonesian passport, as Pakistan was in the U.S. State Department travel ban list for U.S. citizens. What you were led to believe is Barry Sotoro was born in Hawaii, and that's a lie. Barack Hussein Obama and Barry Sotoro have the exact social security number, which when tracked actually leads to a registered Connecticut resident by the name of Thomas Woods, who is deceased, and this social security number was issued March 17, 1977, which Barry Sotoro never lived or was born in Connecticut, all based off of a copy of a birth certificate. Retired immigration officer John Sampson confirmed the actual copy was created by Loretta Fuddy. So how or why did Barry Sotoro get into Columbia University on a fake certificate and a false name? Or did he? Class of '83, Barack's documented class, pre-law and political science, at about 150 students max. One of the speakers at the 33-year reunion never mentioned or said a word about the so-called future president. Henry Graff, a 40-year professor during the so-called period of Obama's tenure with Columbia, admitted never knowing of Obama during any class or session. Upon graduation leading up to his Senate race, all Columbia documents related to Barry Sotoro were labeled classified. Classified for a simple college student or something more planned. The CIA is known for its crude, militant, communistic style of policing the world. A lot of scenarios, particularly country-shattering ones, are conjured up by deep state actors who are in the CIA. They created the CIA. From 9/11 to the Coco pandemic. They don't act quick. They plan for years, and they choose their dates symbolically. What if the information we've been given wasn't discovered, but leaked on purpose? This would serve as a distraction to attempt to stop further investigation into truths some want to keep hidden. So what if Obama's father was someone else? And what if his grandfather was Hitler? Stick with me now. This rabbit hole is about to get a whole lot weirder. Let's have a look. Obama's grandmother on the left, Madeline Dunham, and Hitler's companion on the right, Eva Braun. Remarkable. Check out this photo of Joko Widodo from a documentary, Jokowi Undercover. The child beside Joko carries an extremely strong resemblance to Obama, with similar mannerisms, such as the way they sit with slumped shoulders and their hands between their lap. This is another photo taken from the same documentary of Joko's parents' home, likely his grandparents. And this is a photo from when Maya, Obama's sister, was born in Indonesia. The article it came from had a caption which read, "Newborn Maya Sotoro with her mother and grandmothers." We know that the grandmother on the right is Madeline Dunham, assuming grandmother on the left is Lolo's mother. Same person? Could Joko be his brother? Could Mohammed Subud be Obama's father? Who is Mohammed Subud? Mohammed was an Indonesian who founded the movement known as Subud. As a young man, Mohammed Subud claims to have received a series of intense experiences that he believed gave him contact with the spiritual energy from a higher power. By the 1930s, he believed it was his task to transmit this energy, which he called Latihan Kejiwan, Indonesian for spiritual exercise. That's right, it's possible that Barack Obama's real father was an Indonesian cult leader. This would make Barack Obama not the first African-American president of the United States, but the first Indonesian president of the United States. There is strong evidence that Ann Dunham had an affair with the leader of the Subud cult in Indonesia, which produced Barack Obama. It is hardly a coincidence that the Subud cult is based in Chicago and that Loretta Fuddy, who produced Obama's fake birth certificate in Hawaii, was the chairman of the Subud USA from 2006 to 2008. Is it a coincidence that Loretta Fuddy was installed as director of the State Department of Health in Hawaii in January 2011, and that she was the one who produced Obama's birth certificate a few months later? Is it a coincidence that both Loretta Fuddy and Ann Dunham were connected to the Subud cult in Indonesia? Absolutely everything you were told about 44 was a lie, and so was his presidency. When it comes to keeping secrets, Obama is a pro. But you know who's even better? Hillary Clinton. I want to highlight something many of you may already know, but for those new to this topic, it's imperative to understand. The threat of dying for exposing the Clintons' secrets is real, only because of the mysterious deaths of countless people surrounding the Clintons. The Clinton kill list.
Hillary, isn't that crazy? It's a joke, and everyone knows they say, better watch what you say. Hillary will kill you, and that chick is running for president, and that's like a joke.
Did you ever see that meme? There's a meme of a deer laying on the side of the road, it's dead, and it said, "What did that deer know about Hillary Clinton?"
See, it's a joke. Everyone's laughing. That chick is going to be president.
Everybody's laughing.
Everybody's laughing. Because the only reason we would laugh is because it's true. That's the only reason we would laugh.
Yeah, it wouldn't be funny if you did that about Oprah.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be funny.
That's good. That's a legit point. That's not funny at all.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
Watch this video by a citizen journalist documenting all the strange deaths surrounding Hillary and Bill Clinton.
The popular term Clinton body count has been described as a list of Clinton associates who met their untimely death, some by orders from the Clintons themselves. Google has altered its search algorithm to prevent searches for Clinton body count from auto-completing. Just recently, the Twitter account @Robbie12692 released a thread called The Clinton Body Count. The following are just some of the names on that list. We see the popularity of the Clinton brand being shunned by most Americans. Is this the final curtain call for the Clintons and their criminal cabal? The first major Clinton scandal was in the late 80s. While Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas, there were allegations of a CIA-run operation out of Mena Regional Airport, where guns were allegedly being exported to Nicaraguan Contras and cocaine was being imported to fund the operation. Strangely enough, several key witnesses involved in this investigation were murdered before giving their testimony, and several investigators were also murdered. Next came the Whitewater scandal, and oddly enough, several more witnesses and investigators mysteriously died. Most were declared to be suicides. Vincent Foster was shot in the mouth and in the back of the neck with 2 different calibers, and it was ruled a suicide. And did you know that during the Monica Lewinsky scandal, 2 of Bill Clinton's female interns were murdered? Coincidence, maybe. Throughout the years, several journalists investigating the Clintons were killed, committed suicide, or mysteriously died. And after President Trump called for an investigation into the Clinton Foundation, strangely enough, several close associates, whistleblowers, and investigators also killed themselves. The Palladino's house exploded, and Laura Projotko fell 27 stories down a trash chute. Is it all coincidence? Are the Clintons cursed, or are they criminals?
Paul Walker, November 30th, 2013. His car hit a tree and caught fire. The video, however, looks more like an explosion. He was set to come forward, exposing the Clinton Foundation's crimes against children in Haiti. He discovered this through his charity work. Moment of Paul Walker car crash caught on nearby security cam. Chester Bennington worked with Chris Cornell to expose pedophile leading to Podesta and Clinton. He died in the same manner Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain died, hung on a doorknob. Oddly, his facial profile is an 80% match to John Podesta. That percentage is only possible with a parent involved. Chester Bennington was well known for being a member of Lincoln Park. Kate Spade, a famous designer who had worked with the Clinton Foundation in the No Ceilings Initiative and did work in Haiti for Hillary. She was found hung in her apartment by a red scarf on June 5th, 2018. Her husband posted multiple strange photos of her before her death. Antion Scalia. Steve Elmendorf worked for Monsanto, sent an email to John Podesta 3 days before Scalia was found dead on 2/13/16 after a party. It mentions wet works. We know that's code for assassination. Removing Scalia opened a Supreme Court seat and allowed for Monsanto to go unchallenged. Anthony Bourdain, CNN host of Parts Unknown and renowned chef, traveler. He was shedding light on the pedogate and the American genocide in the newer episode of his show. On June 8, 2018, he was found hung in his hotel room in France. Many suspect he was murdered. Michael Hastings, a reporter for BuzzFeed and editor at Rolling Stone magazine. His car exploded 3 separate times on June 18th, 2013. He was exposing pedogate, leading to the firing of General McChrystal, all linked to Clinton and Podesta. Chris Cornell, the singer for Soundgarden. Chris was working with Chester Bennington to expose Hollywood pedophilia, leading back to Podesta and ultimately Clinton. He was found dead on May 18th of 2017, reported as a hanging. Police say he had head trauma and a workout band around his neck. Andrew Breitbart, founder of Breitbart News. He brought attention to the pedophilia networks ran by the Podesta brothers and Clinton. He died March 1st, 2012, from a heart attack shortly after revealing John Podesta and associates to be monsters. Joe Montano, chairman of the DNC before Debbie Wasserman Shorts, died July 25th of 2016, had a heart attack at the age of 47. A few days prior to this, WikiLeaks dropped the DNC emails. Victor Thorne, author of 4 books exposing the Clintons, Hillary and Bill volumes, the sex volume, the drugs volume, the murder volume, and then Crowning Clinton. He was shot and killed on a mountaintop in Pennsylvania, August 1st of 2016. I would never commit suicide was something that was well known that he said. Gareth Williams, a spy with the MI6. He had illegally hacked into the secret data of Bill Clinton. Found dead in his apartment August 16th of 2010, ruled as a suicide. But he was padlocked, naked, inside a duffel bag, in his bathtub. The apartment was steam cleaned after his death as well. Gary Webb, an American journalist who exposed the CIA running drugs in and out of the country under the Clinton and Bush administrations. On December 10th of 2004, he was found dead in his apartment. The strange part, they say he shot himself in the head with a shotgun, twice. John F. Kennedy Jr., Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and Lauren Bessette. While flying, John crashed his plane, killing himself, his wife, and his sister-in-law. This was before his announcement to challenge Hillary Clinton for New York Senate. A massive cover-up operation occurred immediately. Do your own research. Connect your own dots.
Knowing this, isn't it strange that JFK Jr. suddenly passed away whilst running against Hillary Clinton for New York Senate? It was projected for JFK Jr. to win, but once he died in a fatal and mysterious plane crash, Hillary's political career grew to new measures. Although, what if JFK Jr. didn't die? He knew his life was potentially always in danger. Look how his father was killed. And his last endeavor was a magazine titled George. In one article, he references his viewers to pull out the special edition magazine in the year 2020. As crazy as it sounds, there are some compelling photos out there. And at this point in my life, the truth is normally stranger than fiction. What matters is that the future we embark toward carries a true sense of transparency. The internet, whistleblowers, and information leaks will continue to balance out the scales of justice when corrupt individuals gain too much control. As we've examined here, Joe Biden isn't going to perform any miracles like Trump selling rice to China. What we'll get with Joe is more corruption. And to those who've chosen to back Joe Biden, maybe it's time you question how you've come to reach such a conclusion. In today's media-controlled world, it's essential to continue asking, what does the media want me to think? And why do they want me to think it? Tons of money and research goes into finding ways to hack your mind and to turn you into their money-making machine. Good luck with that, deep state, because from the way I see it, the majority of us are starting to wake up.